Second in a series of park flying pushers, I have here version 1 prototype of an SU-57. I wanted to show you how easily they can be launched. And what better way to do that than something crazy and unconventional? So I decided to use my feet. Like anything else in life, this took a little practice to get a perfect hands-off launch where I didn't have to add any input. I even got good at putting it down right next to me so I didn't have to walk far to do it again. After doing this about 30 times, I was finally able to get the perfect foot launch without any input on the controls. Watch till the end to see the other attempts. If you're wondering how I got that hole in the bottom of the stab, I hit a stick during landing and almost crashed the airplane. Hey, what's up guys? I've got with me an SU-57 prototype. It's the newest addition to my park flying series. Another mid-mounted pusher with elevon control. It's made very similar to the F-22. These models are kind of challenging to make because I have to cut out this entire area that's behind the prop. And to still make it look like an SU-57 was very difficult. I did have to widen the fuselage. The hatch is made how I make all my hatches, with a spring-loaded latch using a rubber band. I did use the same motor and prop that I used in my F-22. 2836 1500 kV. I'm going to run it on 4S. I bet this will fly on 3S without a problem though. With this one I did something a little different. The servos are external and I'm running a mechanical 4x4 setup. As you can see, I have the elevons tied to the ailerons on the same servo. I'm very familiar with mid-mounted pushers, especially with foam board, and I know that this setup works very well. So eliminating 2 servos makes the install and setup a lot easier, and it's going to give me about the same amount of control. Alright, let's get this thing up in the air. Power for days. Wow, I can tell it's much lighter. A lot lighter than the F-22. The 57 is essentially just a huge flying wing. It feels pretty trimmed. Oh, I like how it flies so far. I really like how it flies. So I might have to get a little bit more aileron throw out of it. Tremendous amount of power with that motor. Let me see what the rudder feels like. See if I can't get it to high alpha a little bit. It feels a little bit nose heavy. And it's definitely a lot floatier than the F-22. It floats a lot more. It's really fast if you want it to be. It's handling really nice though. I'm glad I went with the mechanical 4x4 setup. So I got a little bit nose heavy this flight. I think I need to move the CG back a little bit. I don't have the marks on there yet. But I do have the battery very far forward right now. So that's it. There's a Maiden in my 57. If you're wondering why I had this weird shaped rudder on the back of this 3D printed SU-57, it's because these airframes were meant to be fun to fly, not to be scale. This vectored rudder will give you a tremendous amount of control without the roll effect, and it actually works even better if you put it on the bottom. I have with me a foam board version of this SU-57, which I had traditional rudders on. Both of these rudders are directly behind the prop blast. So one of them is always coming into the motor and forcing the airframe to roll one way or the other. So I had taped both of them closed, and I added one of these vectored rudders to the bottom of this airframe. Now putting it on the bottom creates a roll effect in the opposite direction and is inherently more stable altogether. These airframes were meant to be fun to fly, not to be scale. Flight number 2 of SU-57 prototype version 1. Notice how easy I was able to launch it. I didn't have to throw it at a 45 or 90 degree angle. I think I still need to move my battery back a little bit more. It has really nice slow flight characteristics. The elevon control really allows you to be able to keep it in a tight area. I turned my ailerons up to 100% and it seems to have helped a lot. Now the elevator and ailerons are both at 100% for high rates. I've always enjoyed flying prop jets. You get a much longer flight time and they handle a lot better as well. Yeah, I definitely need to bring the CG back a little bit more. This thing has got so much power, it's just ridiculous. With that motor and prop combination, it's way faster than any jet. If I move the battery back a little bit more, I'll be able to hold the nose up a little bit easier. Well, this thing's really flying great. This one will high alpha just as well as the F-22 with that mechanical 4x4 setup. See if I can get a high alpha rudder turn here. Definitely going to move the battery back a little bit further on the next flight. Propeller-driven aircraft always seem to last longer when 3D printed than EDFs. The landing speed on a prop plane is always a lot slower than an EDF. I've just had a lot better luck with prop planes than I have EDFs. One last high alpha pass before I call it a day. Unfortunately, it's getting dark, so I'm going to bring it in. Whoops. Nothing a little bit of glue won't fix. That's exactly why I like to put them steel wires in my aircraft. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it and it'll be fine. You know, these 3D prints, they're not meant to last forever, but a lot of designers, they're not telling you that part. They just want you to buy their airframe. But at least with them steel wires, you can get a pretty good amount of breakage and still be flyable. Alright, there we go. Good as new. I'm going to throw it back up in the air. Another completely effortless launch. I'll be the first designer to admit that these 3D printed airplanes, they just don't last. You know, you can't take them out in the sun. You gotta be careful with them when you move them around. You can't even drop apart when you're putting them together. Although if you take care of them, you can get a good amount of flights out of them, upwards of 100. What I would recommend with 3D printed airplanes is if something like that happens, you crash it, you break the nose off, glue it back on, put some tape on it, do whatever you can, get some more flights out of it, just fly it till you can't fly it no more. Use it for practice. Just part of the hobby. It still flies great though. I can still high alpha with it. This airframe has very good slow flight. You know, I printed it real light. I printed the whole thing with 1.5% infill, just like the F-22. I've been playing with the CG, continuously moving it farther back each flight. I really like these park flying aircraft. They are a lot of fun. Everybody right now seems to be making EDFs because they're a lot easier to make. You know, but I would always prefer to fly a prop over an EDF any day of the week. So this SU-57 is actually flying very well. I think the only thing I'm really going to change on it is I'm going to make the ailerons just a little bit bigger. This SU-57 is very floaty compared to the F-22. It's got so much more wing area and it's 30 grams lighter. Unrestricted climb. You know, more infill or a stronger PLA does not necessarily mean more strength. After years of printing airplanes, what I've found is that a heavier airplane will break easier.